Let's talk Shin Megami Tensei 5. I know this game came out 8 years ago or 2 years ago or whatever. I did start playing it when it first came out, and then last year, crazy year. So I didn't get to finish the game. There we go. There it is. I didn't get to finish the game, and I did 2 days ago or yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. And I have to say, this game is a mixed bag. I have to say that this game is amazing and terrible all at the same time. I have to say that this game is something that I would recommend. So I'm going to say that at the beginning of the video. But why would I recommend it? Why is it terrible at times? Why? Okay, so let's get into that. First of all, if you are a Persona... If you came into Shin Megami Tensei through Persona, this is not Persona. You don't have a bunch of playable humans. You don't have relationship ties. You don't have social links. You don't have a ton of storyline outside of the netherworld, I guess, is what you would call it. I know it's called something else in the game, and I completely forgot what it's called. If that means any, it's DA apostrophe AT. So you pretty much are going to exclusively live in that, especially later in the game. There is a little bit of storyline within the real Tokyo in the beginning of the game. A little bit of hand-holding, a little bit of that. But by and large, you are going to be in the brunt of it for the entire game. So if you're looking for, I would almost say that Persona is like a cozy game practically comparatively to this. So I get that out of the way. The storyline, which I think most people are going to know by this point in time, is you are essentially, if it focuses here, these characters. Okay, so you are all, you play this guy with blue hair or woman, well, I don't know what it is, with blue hair. There's a combination of a student, imagine that, and a demigod, basically. And you have to make a decision, imagine this, to save the world or let the world fall apart. I don't know that there's a single Shin Megami Tensei game that isn't that, or any Persona, or any, I don't think this studio makes a game that isn't that decision. You got to save the world or not save the world or blah, blah, blah. So that is embedded in all of their games. Now, the things that you are going to have to deal with in this game are very annoying in the game in the beginning, I found, and then they kind of alleviate themselves in the later part of the game. So one of the things that you're going to really want to get good at is talking to the demons and bringing them on your team. They're going to ask for things, try to get out of it as cheaply as humanly possible. Get really good at that, because you can fuse them and you can make other demons, but the trade-off isn't always there, especially in the beginning of the game. So I would suggest, if I were going to start this game again, just get as many people on your team as humanly possible, because it's not worth the fusion in the beginning of the game. And another thing that you're going to want to utilize is you get the essences of each demon through these little golden hexagonal globe-like things that you have to, break apart, and you'll get these little essences. You can get them other ways. If you defeat certain demons, they'll give you their essence. I don't know how to describe it. The essence is basically like an amiibo without the without the plastic shell. It's like the SIM card in the amiibo that gives you all the the affinities and the skills for each of the demons, and you'll have those, and you can basically break those apart and take each little piece that you want from each essence. Now keep in mind each demon has its strengths. So like you might get one demon, for example, that is very strong with electric, and it'll have like a +3 next to electric skills. You're going to want to, so if you're bringing other demon skills into the demon that you're trying to get the essence into, and it's a -3 on electric, it's not a good match. Don't use that demon. But if it's like a +5 on physical, that would be the skills that you want to bring over. But that being said, toward the end of the game, especially the last, I would say 3 fights, I saved up most of my high level essences for the end of the game. That way I could build 4 or 5 people, like including myself, so myself and like 3 other or 4 other demons, to a point where they're pretty invincible. Other than Almighty, they could block just about everything. And the more and more you do this, the better you'll get at it. You also get these things called glory, and they will unlock different skill sets that you can do. Use those wisely. And as you're going through the world, definitely there's these little floating silver globe things. You can't miss them. They're tiny. You walk up to them and you get the glory from them. Use that wisely and decide what your Nahabino, which is the character right here with the blue hair. I don't think that focused, but the blue hair demon that you control, the Nahabino. I would 100% build him to be good and almighty, because there's no way of blocking that. He gets his final skill sets at the end, towards the end of the game, the last like 3/4 of the game, and he becomes pretty much what you're looking to have in defeating everything that you need to defeat. Now, the one thing that I find excruciating, and it kind of tails off towards the end of the game, is when you do talk to a demon and you get it on your team, it will go from having like, I don't know, 500. This is just a random number. It'll have like, when it's out in the wild, when you're talking to it while it's fighting you, it has like 500 health points and like 400 magic points. But when you get it, it's, first of all, half the size it was in the real world, and it's got half of the stats. So it'll go from 500 down to 250, and from 400 down to 200 when you get it. And another thing, especially in the beginning of the game, the magic, the skills that you have use so much magic. I mean, I found myself being completely wiped out of magic after 2 fights, and then you got another one. And as another thing that, I forgot about this. In the beginning of the game, actually mostly throughout the entire game, now it's not random encounters, but you can see the demons. But a lot of times there's so many of them that it does kind of become random encounters. You get in so many fights that you forget what you were doing or where you were going. I remember that in the beginning of the game, and that's one of the reasons my life was crazy last year. Crazy. And the game was pissing me off. I'm like, my life is crazy enough. I don't need this game being like this ridiculous. So I stopped playing it. It drove me insane. I think that is one of the biggest detractors of this game. While you can see, well, this is just the beginning of the game. While you can see the demons walking around, it's kind of like shadows. If you played Persona, you can see the shadows just walking around. However, they're very fast. You're going to walk into them. And I recommend it because you are going to get your ass handed to you if you're not high enough level. I was at a level 82 when I beat the game. It was fine for me. If you want the highest level, I think the highest level demon that there is in the game is 96. So you're going to have to get yourself to 96. So obviously you're going to have to level up. And it takes forever. Again, here's another thing. It takes forever to level demons up. So it is not worth the time putting into most demons to get them to a higher level. Once you get to level maybe 65 or 60 or 65, some of those you are going to want to get as high a level as possible. The one that I'm thinking of the most is Thor. I can't think of anybody else. I'm sure there is, but Thor really helped me out because I created somebody else for the final boss with Thor. And I brought all of his stuff over with it. So keep that in mind. I mean, find as many things as you possibly can. Another thing that you're going to want to do, there's, vending machines all over this. I mean, it's just kind of funny because there's vending machines all over Japan. So they kind of brought that irony or just funniness, I guess, into the game. There's vending machines everywhere. 100% go to every vending machine you can because there's this, I think it's called Cadaver Hollow. You'll trade that in for the money system. It's called Maka in this game, and you'll trade that in 100%. Find as many of those as you can. Find as much glory as you can. There's these little things with red top, like red top of the head is red, and the bottom is I forget what they're called. Maggots. I forget what they're called. Find as many of those as you can. Get as much glory as you can. Get as much Maka as you can. And experience as much experience as you possibly can. Because this game is very unforgiving. You're going to have to get to a point mentally knowing that you're going to have to restart certain fights. You're going to have to restart just period. Because it's just unforgiving. Even on an easy setting, even on a normal setting, it is unforgiving. It really is. It's one of the most unforgiving games I've ever played, ever in my life. All SMT games are like that, though. I mean, SMT 3 was ridiculous. If you've played some of the original SMT games, they were ridiculous. So going into this, if you've played these games in the past, it's almost like they handhold you from Persona 3 on. Even the original Persona games were just absurd. Absurd. So keep that in mind. Keep it in your brain that I want to fight as many of these as I can. There is no auto battle in this, really. I mean, it's a physical auto battle, so it really doesn't do you much good. And have fun with it. It can be a fun game. It really can be a fun game. Just have in your mind before you get into this game that I'm going to have to explore as much as humanly possible. I'm going to have to find as many treasures and Maka and glory and everything that I possibly can, because if you don't, when you get to the end of the game, I just don't see how you could possibly beat it. I just don't see how that's humanly possible. So you're going to have to go back if you want to beat the game. If you just want to kind of experience it and see, then it's not that big of a deal. If you're one of these people who just wants to kind of play through the game and then they can watch the rest of it kind of like this on the back behind me, maybe it doesn't matter as much to you. I don't know. If you're somebody who does want to beat and go through the whole game, there is, as in everything with SMT, multiple endings. So you're going to have to keep that into account. It's a good game. I don't know that I would want to do it again, which is why I dumped everything into it the first time around. I am one of these people that rarely ever finishes a game, or not finishes, replays a game. So I probably wouldn't replay it. Now, I know Vengeance came out for this. I dropped the ball. I didn't buy it. I don't know if you can still find it physically. If you can't, then I probably won't. I'm one of these people. If I don't have it physically, I probably won't. I probably won't play it. That's it. I mean, it's excruciating. It's annoyingly excruciating at some points, because if these demons you've got have 500 and 400, respectively, when you get them, they should have that, because that's who you're fighting out. It feels like you're always up against it until you reach like 72 or something, like level 72 or something like that, and then everything else kind of seems to fall into place. But I mean, it takes forever. You're like end game by that point. Maybe not 100% end game, but you're in the last section of the game. Oh, so that part of it's really irritating. You always feel like you're behind the 8 ball. That's how I can describe this game. You always feel like you are behind in this game. So that's just natural. That's just how the game is. That's just what the game is. What else can I say? What else can I say? That is my review of the game. I would recommend it. I think it's a really good game. But keep in mind, it's going to frustrate you at times. So other than that, it really is. The art is really good. The character models are really good for the Switch, for what they are. The art style is really good. Atmospherically, it really keeps you in what it's supposed to. It really does a good job of that atmosphere and everything like that. And I have to say, when I was in the beginning of this game, I was kind of hoping it was going to stay like the beginning of the game. I really did. Kind of this, but it doesn't. That is, if you like the beginning of the game and you think that this is going to be how the game is going to go, it's not. It's just not. So keep that in mind. And that's my review. Hopefully, you might have already played it and you just want to watch a review, somebody talk about it. And it's very hard to even find information online about the game if you're stuck or something like that. Because if you type in SMT5, it's going to pull up Vengeance. So you are really alone in this game. You are really alone in it. It almost feels like a game back in the 90s, like early 90s, before internet would tell you, would give you walkthroughs. It's like the wild west, really. It really is. So it gives you that overall feeling, because there's so many more people who played Vengeance for whatever reason than the original, that there's not as much to go on, as far as walkthroughs and everything. So that is my review. It's worthwhile, but it is definitely not Persona. Anyway, comments, questions down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.